Hey there, everyone. This is Author Andrew Snorton, the host of The Conversation Corner, airing every second and fourth Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch me on the Status Network through their website, statusnetwork.net, the LyveTV channel, the Status Network smartphone app, the social media platforms for both the Status Network and LyveTV, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Facebook Live for Author Andrew Snorton, and Instagram at Author A. Snorton. You're seeing a few of the snapshots of some of the great people that have made our first year great, and we're looking forward to even a greater year next year. Thank you for your support, and remember, let's have a conversation.
A. Snorton. And guess what? I had a great time on the Conversation Corner, hosted by Author Andrew Snorton, shown on the Status Network, LyveTV, and let's have a conversation. We'll see you soon.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned into the Status Network, the LyveTV channel, and this is the Conversation Corner with your host, the author Andrew Snorton. And let's have a conversation. Ever since October 24th, 2018, we've been bringing you great guests across the board in entertainment business, the community, and beyond. And today is no exception as we celebrate 1 year in the books, getting ready to move on to year number 2. So we've got three amazing guests. So let's get into our main announcements and a couple of other little things before we bridge into our 3 awesome guests for tonight, which is a first, definitely. With the Status Network, thank you for taking time to not only tune in and watch this show, but supporting the entire Status Network family of television shows, radio, hosts, guests, personalities, you name it, we do it here. To best enjoy tonight's show, make sure to tune in to statusnetwork.net, click on the menu for channels, click on the menu for LyveTV, and click on the Conversation Corner. You're good to go. If you need fewer instructions, download the smartphone app statusnetwork.net, click on channels, click on LyveTV, and there you have it. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, you name it. Status Network as well as LyveTV. For those of you that have Roku and Amazon Fire Stick, you can go ahead and tune into the Status Network and catch the show. For those of you who are following me on Facebook at Author Andrew Snorton, you're getting to see it, and to see a more intimate behind the scenes look at how we really make the magic happen, make sure to add me on Instagram at Author A. Snorton, and you can add me on at Author A. Snorton on Twitter. So these are the ways to enjoy this show. And now let's get into our public service announcements. Our first announcement is, it looks like our first announcement is going to be those ice cold brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. That's right. The Loganville Conyers chapter, which is based, like I said, Loganville Conyers, Sigma Eta Lambda, doing their Black Ice Affair. It is a day party that will take place December 14th from 2 to 6 p.m. Make sure that you check out the Eventbrite link to get your tickets. $20 for individuals, $35 for couples. Date day. But on top of that, a portion of the proceeds are going to help support some of the great causes that they do, whether it's through the ABC2 campaign and others where they spread holiday cheer to children in need. So shouts to the brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha, Loganville Conyers, Sigma Eta Lambda chapter. Our next public service announcement is for, if you remember back for one of our shows in September, we had the team from the International Atlanta Unity Day out here. Make sure to mark November 16th on your calendar. That time will probably be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., but make sure to come on out. We've got vendors from all across the globe, different ethnic backgrounds, music, a mechanical bull. That's right, a mechanical bull in a contest. You better be ready for it. We also have a film festival, and there are still a couple of spaces left for submissions. And not only that, we have an authors roundtable, and guess who's one of the authors? That's right. Of course it's me. Well, there's other authors too, but I'm really looking forward to it. But shouts to the team to make that happen. Our next public service announcement is, oh my goodness, this weekend, we know there's a lot of things that are on and popping this weekend, but Birmingham, Birmingham, Alabama, that's right. What, the Magic City Classic? Yes, Magic City Classic going on this weekend. So in addition to all the events that are going on, there's one I'd like for you to keep on the radar. That's this Friday night, a great affair awesome ticket prices, but more importantly, shouts to one of my partners, DJ Chocolate on the ones and twos. Shouts to the fam. PHAM is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So support your girl, DJ Chocolate. Support all the DJs. Make sure you're out there with your nice attire, a great attitude, and a great way to kick off and enjoy the Magic City Classic weekend. Our next public service announcement. Oh my goodness, that's right. Where am I going to be? This is almost like Where's Waldo, but where's Andrew going to be? Well, November 3rd is when I will be up in Louisville, North Carolina. I'll actually do a book signing at one of the great spaces and places out there, but lo and behold, it's supporting the Greater Greensboro Black Business Chamber. They're doing some great work. We're going to have live music thanks to West Bend Winery and Brewery out in Louisville, North Carolina. So if you're in Winston-Salem, so that means Forsyth County, Yadkin County, after service and after you've had your fill of the spirit, join me in North Carolina. Our next public service announcement is, oh my goodness, back-to-back book signings. That's right, Dallas, Texas. Yeehaw! I don't know if I'm going to ride on a horse anytime soon. You never know. But anyway, join me November 9th. From 3 to 5 p.m. in Dallas, Texas. We'll be out at one of the bookstores that's carrying both books that were up for awards from the Author Academy Awards, both Deeper Than Your Deepest Sleep, Thoughts on Love with Joseph Snorton, and 9 Stories of Faith, Volume 1, and the audio book, thanks to my folks at Third Level Entertainment, as well as Canis Major Digital. So again, November 9th from 3 to 5 p.m. Central Time, Dallas, Texas. Join me at Pan-African Connections. Our next public service announcement. Oh, yes, during the holidays. Shouts to my partner, Z Mullen, who let me know about this great event taking place right around Thanksgiving time. You'll have former NFL players, NBA stars going at it on the bowling alley and all that type of thing, but all for a good cause. So make sure to go ahead and check out the work that's there. So Z Mullen, thank you so much for doing some great work with our artists, celebrities, entertainers, and making sure they give back. So shouts on that one. Our next public service announcement. Oh my goodness. As we know, college football is going on, and thanks to the Status Network and Creative Community Solutions, we're actually doing a series on college football. Of course, it's got to be at the alma mater, Wake Forest University. So I was just up there this past Saturday, out in the rain, y'all, to go ahead and capture the win against Florida State. Wake's record is now 6-1 overall, 2-1 in the ACC. So shouts to the team for making it happen. And get well soon to Dustin Schnaud, who unfortunately, he's a candidate for the Butkus Award, which is top linebacker in the country. Unfortunately, he had a triceps injury, so we're hoping for a swift and sound recovery. But kudos to the team. They represent well on so many levels. And those are our public service announcements. But before we get into our first guest, we've got something coming up, and we want to show an interview with one of our colleagues, Mr. Asang Bassi. So we're going to have that up and running. Asang Bassi, candidate for the Thorpe Award for the top DB in the country.
Now, okay, recapping with Asang Bassi. First off, big win tonight. One of the things that you guys have alluded to was team focus and team intensity. Describe that with our viewers.
Yeah, we didn't come out how we wanted to last week off the bye, and that was a big emphasis for us to come out and play fast and physical like we know we can, and I think we did that tonight, and it was able to put us in a good position to start the game. We were able to maintain that in the second half and into the fourth quarter.
Second thing, a byproduct of your intensity, was able to force turnovers, and another thing, you were able to limit the type of explosive plays. Walk through with our viewers, especially when you had a couple of personnel changes, Schnaud with an injury. Describe, like, just basically how you guys were able to still stay locked in.
Definitely, those are emphasis we put on ourselves throughout the week, limiting the explosive plays, which I think we did for the most part, and then forcing turnovers, especially with the conditions today. We were able to really attack the football and come up with big stops when we needed.
Okay. Last thing, going into another bye, what would you say is one lesson that you learned from last go around that you'll definitely be able to apply this time?
We got to come ready to play flat out. We can't mess around in the beginning of the game. From the first kickoff, we got to come out with the juice and energy that we have been in previous weeks, and I think if we do that, we'll be fine.
Okay, we're going to hope this works this time. Thanks a lot, saying best wishes and everything. Thank you.
Writing.
Head and catch all the college football action, but enough about all that. We've got our first guest live and direct. We have right here educator, professional, and candidate for political office coming on, Ms. Fiyah Taylor. Okay, so there's a little thing that's going on. Hold on for just a moment. Hey, technology is a wonderful tool, but while we're working on getting her back on, just a quick reminder again, as we're covering, sports as well, or I'm able to do so, one thing I want to make mention is, again, is great being able to go ahead and provide those options and opportunities. The next time that we'll be covering a college game will be November the 2nd. That will be for the NC State Wake Forest football game. So again, looking forward to bringing that in and a couple other items. So again, just great things going on, as not only just another good show, but also celebrating 1 year, ladies and gentlemen. So think about it. This time last year was day number 1. And in the course of that year, we've been able to bring some great people doing great things. So we're going to work on making sure we get Ms. Taylor punched back in and things along those lines. So we really appreciate your patience on that. As you know, technology is a wonderful tool. Every once in a while, things happen, but we're going to go ahead and get her back on track momentarily. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to a brief commercial break, and we come back, we're going to make sure to bring back on Ms. Fiyah Taylor. So thank you for tuning into the Conversation Corner. We'll be right back in just a few moments.
Hey there, everyone. This is Author Andrew Snorton, the host of The Conversation Corner, airing every second and fourth Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch me on the Status Network through their website, statusnetwork.net, the LyveTV channel, the Status Network smartphone app, the social media platforms for both the Status Network and LyveTV, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Facebook Live for Author Andrew Snorton, and Instagram at Author A. Snorton. You're seeing a few of the snapshots of some of the great people that have made our first year great, and we're looking forward to even a greater year next year. Thank you for your support, and remember, let's have a conversation.
House, y'all. I love my life. I sure do.
Look, okay?
Shaking that about 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Yes, I can hear you. And it was working the whole time fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I tell you what, you know what? You have to have a laugh and a smile in this business, in this industry. So after a couple of little reminders of how wonderful a tool technology is and me having to shake myself a little bit, we have Fiyah Taylor live and direct. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
You know what? I'm sitting here. I am just happy to be here. Gosh darn it. That's the best way I can explain it. Fiyah, for our viewers that are out there, give them a little bit of background, where you're from, and what you are doing professionally so they have a point of reference.
Okay. So I'm originally from Smithville, Georgia. Raised there all my life. Currently, I'm in the field of education. I was a special education teacher. Then I became a region coordinator for Head Start. Then went into higher ed I became an academic coach and the vice president of childcare initiatives at Auburn University. And now I am running for mayor of Smithville, Georgia.
Wow. So what is it that you're not doing? Because if I got it correct, we have right here through the lens of education, and you've seen it all from the classroom to coach to administration to doing high level work on that end. Walk through with our viewers the call to public service. What was it that gave you that nudge that, hey, I need to really take it to the next level?
Mm-hmm. Really, I was thinking about the future of my hometown, the families that left, the different people that want to come back, but they feel that there is nothing to come back to. So I wanted to basically revitalize my town, which is why I decided to run for mayor.
Now, walk through with us, thematically, like you said, revitalizing, and that's not just, let's say, a smaller town issue. That's a bigger town city issue as well. What are some of the key areas that you've done your research on that your platform is saying, okay, if we're going to bring people back, what are, thematically speaking, different strands that we have to look at and getting those stronger?
Right. So in my platform, what I focus on is called the 3 E's. So we're talking about economic growth because, like you said, that's not just a small town issue. That's definitely something that larger cities should also look into. Besides economic growth, it's engagement, community engagement, and also education. Education really powers whether a town or a city is doing well or not, whether it's growing or not. People move to towns just because of the education system. So we really try to focus on those 3 E's: economic growth, engagement, and education.
And you said a lot right there because, like you said, those are really those primary strands through which, like you said, really drive things. What would you see, I guess, short-term and intermediate term things that if you were able to be in that position, what are some of the short-term and intermediate things you would want to put in place so you're able to address those 3 E's and really get things up and running?
Right. So short term, within my first 100 days, my sister LaFay, she's a computer engineer, and we have developed a STEM curriculum for pre-K through 3rd grade. And so one of the first things that we'll be doing is having an after-school program, a STEM after-school program for the kids in my hometown. Right now, there is absolutely nothing for them. Smith is a small town to a larger county, so all of the kids have to go to the county school. And so in Smithville itself, there's absolutely no educational opportunities for the students. And so we want to make sure that they do have things like that. We also want to make sure in the first 100 days that we offer some type of farmer's market. In my town, there's not a grocery store. And you would think in the country, like there would be some type of there. And right now we don't have those resources. So bringing that down to my hometown. Another thing as far as like engagement, we have a lot of senior citizens in Smithville that have been neglected. There aren't many initiatives for those people. So we will be having senior citizen initiatives within the first 100 days. Long term, looking at economic growth, about 3 weeks ago, we had the Farmers Co-op come down to Smithville and talk to the residents about growing hemp here. And a lot of people were really excited about it. We have to use what we have in small towns, and one of the things that we do have is a lot of land. So having people invest in different types of farming, having people rent out their land to have different companies come in and they can farm the hemp, that's long term. We're also looking at having a 24-hour truck stops. Smithville is right on the highway 19. There's a lot of trucks coming, and it's something that, talking with the citizens, that's something that they would really appreciate, and it's something that we can do to make sure that we are bringing in revenue for our town.
And it sounds like with all these different things, you're looking at approaches across different demographics, whether it is your senior citizen population, your youth. So you're really helping to kind of bridge all these different entities together. And then on top of that, there's potential that's there. What can be done to constructively tap into it, constructively cultivate it? So now what you're doing is you're focusing on being a bridge builder and really being a connector. That's huge, because there's some of us younger that don't always get that memo. There's some of us my age and older that don't get that memo either. So it's a blessing to see somebody who really gets it. What would you say, as you are making your political journey, what would you say? And I know with everything there's wisdom and insight. What's one piece, I'll say, of insight that you would want to share with folks, not just through the lens of, hey, I'm running for mayor, but just in general regarding the whole larger engagement piece?
I would say one advice that I would give people is to put in extra work. I think people don't understand the value of going just a little above and beyond what you have to do in order to make sure that there is change, that the change is effective. You might have to come early, you might have to stay later, but just making sure that you put in hard work. There's no secret formula to success or the different things that I'm sure the other guests can say as well. There's no secret formula to success besides putting in the work. So if everyone in the community puts in the work, it's just not the mayor or the city council people, but it really does take a village to make something prosper. And if we're wanting kids to prosper, if we're wanting businesses to prosper, we have to make sure that everyone is just putting in the work. And I also feel like, within my platform, I'm the only candidate that actually has a plan. No one else has shared anything that they want to do for the citizens. And so I feel like in order for me to tell other people to put in the work, you need a leader that is also willing to put in the work and be a servant to the people.
And you said a lot right there, and I think back to the life lessons from our elders, where, hey, don't be afraid of hard work, and that's something that clearly you are making that point clear, and it does take everybody doing their part. Everyone has to be willing to do something, and again, another thing, like you said, leadership. It's also leading by example, and what I'm gathering is you're more of the servant leader in asking people to join you. Versus, now that I have the title, okay, I got the title now, okay, but you really are thinking while you are in a position of visibility. Mm-hmm. Now, how do you use that constructively to benefit as many people as possible and continue to be that bridge builder? Those are great traits, not just for government and politics, but just in general. So thank you for sharing those with us. And I know our viewers, whether they're in your hometown or where we're based in Atlanta, virtual land, what have you, they want to stay connected and engaged and continue to find out more. So please share with our viewers the best ways for people to learn about your platform, ask questions, but more importantly to see, hey, look, here's someone that's taking that next step. Please take it with me.
Right. So my viewers, if they have Facebook, they can go to Jalea Taylor for Mayor of Smithville. If they have Instagram, then they can also go to Jalea Taylor for Smithville. They can reach me at my email at taylormadeformayor@gmail.com. And I am an open book. I give everyone my number. So if anyone even wants to call me, they can definitely call me. And all of my information is also on those sites that I just gave you.
Well, I tell you what, in the time that you've been able to spend with us, and I know we had a little journey getting to this point, but it happens. But even with that, just your poise and your patience and your presence, and just being willing to share and willing to talk with people, that speaks volumes. We definitely wish you tremendous success. Continue to be that bridge builder that you are for so many people in so many areas. And, I'm going to go ahead and say it is my anniversary show. Got to shout out the kinfolk. You already know what I'm talking about. So you already know. So we gotta, seriously, and just with the work that you're doing, continue to chip away, continue to be that bridge builder that is sincerely needed. And thank you again for taking and making the time to join us.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Okay, so again, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we're excited about this anniversary edition. At this point in time, we're going to take a commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to get to our studio guest. So thanks again to Ms. Jalea Taylor, and we're going to be right back after a quick commercial break.
Hey there, everyone. This is author Andrew Snorton, the host of The Conversation
Okay,
Corner,
was
airing
that
every
okay?
second and fourth Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch me on the Status Network through their website, statusnetwork.net, the LyveTV channel, the Status Network smartphone app, the social media platforms for both the Status Network and LyveTV, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Facebook Live for author Andrew Snorton, and Instagram at author A. Snorton. You're seeing a few of the snapshots of some of the great people that have made our first year great, and we're looking forward to even a greater year next year. Thank you for your support, and remember, let's have a conversation.
House, y'all. I love my life. I sure do.
Look, okay.
Shaking that about 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on the anniversary edition of the Conversation Corner with your host, author Andrew Snorton. Our next guest, and I tell you what, when it tells you business like when you roll up from Birmingham, Alabama.
Yes.
My goodness gracious.
Just for you.
You know what? It's not even my birthday.
I know, but it's your anniversary.
It's my anniversary. I feel so
came
special.
over for you.
Thank you kindly. We have TJ Everhart from Everhart and Associates in the building.
Yes. Hey, Andrew.
Hey, how are you doing this fine evening?
Great, fam.
Great, great. Look at here. I got the kinfolk and everybody. Well, share with our viewers a little bit about your background, where you're from, a little bit about your educational background, and a little bit about your career journey prior to going in the direction you're going in with Everhart and Associates.
All right. So, hello, everyone. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm actually born and raised Birmingham, Alabama. I'll say Roll Tide in the Georgia area. But Roll Tide.
There's some of those there.
My money goes there, so Roll Tide. Born and raised Birmingham, Alabama. Let's see. You asked what have I done professionally prior to starting my company. For over 20 years, I have been in operations management for several different industries. I've been in the healthcare industry. I've been in the wireless cell phone industry. Last industry I was an operations manager, done several in call centers, and with healthcare as a third-party payer. So most of my experience comes, though, from working in operations. That's the stuff that's working in the background of the business, and that's the stuff a lot of times people forget about. They are really good with the product, but they forget about the things that's working in the background, so that's what I did.
So here you are with this vast body of corporate work, corporate experience, corporate excellence. Describe to our viewers, and a number of our viewers kind of in principle have gone on that path. How did you know it was time for you to pivot into doing something different?
I think a lot of people, Andrew, know that it's over. When you're somewhere and you are dreading to go to work every day, you realize that there's something more that you're called to do. And a lot of people are going to work every day, and they know that God has placed something in them that is so much greater than what they're doing, but a lot of times they allow fear to stop them. So I know you asked about my education. So on top of the experience, I have a bachelor's, I have a master's in management, but I knew that there was more that was in me than going to work every day, working really, really hard for someone else when I could be doing the very same thing for myself.
And you said a lot right there, because anyone who decides, that's part of it, you get to a point where it's like, it's time to pivot, it's time to do something different, and there's time to do something that we'll say is more engrossing and more enriching. So walk through with our viewers the journey and really the evolution with Everhart and Associates.
So it really boiled down to, I think all entrepreneurs know that they are an entrepreneur. Every entrepreneur, and I'm gonna tell you how you can work a job, it doesn't matter how long you're there, probably about the 4th or 5th year, it's not enough for you. That you are ready to go. That although you may be the leader, and which I have, I was one of the senior managers, so it wasn't, I've had people, I had as many as 250 people reporting to me in 2 states and divisions, so, but something inside of me always knew that I had more than what I was doing coming in to work for someone else every day. So the very first thing was I was sure in my calling of that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And I do that because of my relationship with God and Christ. So I was very sure that it was time for me to transition. And then a lot of people don't do this, but you plan for transition. It required me to make a lot of sacrifices. I had to stop shopping as much.
What? You mean women shop?
Mm-mm.
Really? I have never heard that before.
When you like shoes, as I like
Wait,
shoes.
women like shoes?
Some of us like handbags.
Women like, really?
Some of us love shoes.
I am so glad I have you here, because if you had not said, I would have no idea.
You didn't know that?
I had no idea.
Some of us, and I am the us, really like shoes. Really, really, really like shoes. So I had to recognize that I needed to make some sacrifices in order to be self-employed, and that was one of the very sacrifices. It was time for me to cut back on my spending and plan out some time that I knew that I was going to have to. I stepped away from an income, so I had to plan for it.
And you said a lot, because it is, you're being strategic, and you're seeing, hey, look, if I'm going to go this direction, there's some adjustments that I'm going to have to make.
Absolutely.
But part of it is where you understand, in making those adjustments now, it is setting the stage for something bigger.
Yeah, I tell people you have to have short-term discomfort for long-term gain. A lot of times people want the right now gain without the discomfort of the adjustment. So it is short-term discomfort, even for someone who wants to move up in wherever you are in your career. If you want to go to the next level, you're going to have to make some short-term discomfort for long-term gain. And that was what I had to do, part of that, of what I had to do. And then, of course, you know, you need to start studying and researching and asking questions of people who've done it. And you know, what is it going to take for me to be an entrepreneur and to be successful in the field? So it's work.
And again, you're really helping in regards to strategizing and action planning, and that's kind of a bridge for some of the services that you actually provide. And it sounds like not just for businesses and, let's say, interrelated leadership and workflow and things along those lines, but also for individuals. So
yeah, these are life skills. You know, someone asked me in the interview that I was in the magazine just recently, do I tie in personal life with business life? You have to be able to overcome some of the things that you face personally. So, for instance, you can't be very fearful and a fearful person yet think that you're going to walk in the call that's on your life. You cannot, because fear will tell you that you can't do it. And challenges are going to come as being when you step off into doing something else that's uncomfortable, because it's uncomfortable. It's very comfortable to get a check every 2 weeks that you know that's coming.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's
comfortable.
fact. That's
yeah,
fact.
That's
Yes.
comfortable. Whether you do the work or not, you know that you're going to get
Get
paid.
something.
So
Mhm.
now you go from I have to hunt to eat. It's uncomfortable. But something has to be inside of you that says that I'm okay with being uncomfortable, that I don't live in the realm of comfortable. And so that is a personal inside thing. That's an inner thing that you've got to have to be fearless, to be relentless, to be resilient so that you can be successful in business.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like the reminder you're running a marathon. You're not running a sprint.
Absolutely. And you got to be able to stay the course because the obstacles will come. But then that goes back to personally. If you're a person that folds in your personal life, you're going to fold when the challenges come with being an entrepreneur. So get that together.
So yeah, I mean, you're telling it. I mean, you're just. I'm like,
I'm
yes,
preaching.
ma'am. I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Preaching to the people, preaching.
No, but like you said, you spelled it out. So again, you're immersing this not only with working with individuals, working
Yeah.
with different businesses of different sizes, and even though you're based in Birmingham, I think another thing to really state to our viewers is just because you're based there, that's not where you always are. Can you walk through with some of our viewers some of the different areas you've been able to go,
Yeah.
so people understand that, hey, part of you living your journey is just that. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Personally, you know, I've had some challenges in life, but at the same time, I'm the same person that was just on the boat with Oprah and Gail in January. So if I can do that, you can do that. And at the same time, as it relates to someone professionally, their business, what I do for smaller business owners, I go in and I look at their business and do an analysis of your business, your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats, and things to help you to grow your business. That doesn't require a locale. When I say that, I can service you. It doesn't matter that you're not in Birmingham. I can go to wherever you are, or we can talk. I talk to people all the time. I was on a call today with the business owner who's in Cleveland. Yesterday, I was with someone that's in Tampa. So, although my service physically is in Birmingham, I'm in Atlanta right now. I was in Atlanta last week. So, yes, I can go to different places.
All right. Wow. And that's great.
you.
That's great. So like you're saying, not only on the individual level, but businesses of different sizes, location to a degree doesn't really matter. It's about helping the proverbial, bringing the best out of whatever individual or whatever entity. So that way they're maximizing their potential.
So let me tell you what I see. To all of the smaller business owners, what I know is that smaller business owners are really good at their craft. They are gifted in baking a cake or whatever it is that they're gifted in doing, but a lot of times they don't have a business background. So they're lacking in the parts that keeps the operation or the business going. They need to have a corporate mindset. And in corporate, everything is about the bottom line. I don't care how great the service is. If it's not bringing us money, we don't keep it. So I go in and help small business owners have a corporate mindset. If you want to go into a corporate type of revenue, if you want to be a profit as a corporation, you have to act like where you're going and not where you are. You have to start treating your business as a corporation, and they don't know how to do that. So that's my heart was, how can I help these people grow their business to the revenue that they're wanting, and give them the insight that I have. And the knowledge that I have, operations transcends industries. It doesn't matter your industry. The principles are all the same.
Okay. Wow. Just even in this conversation, there's a lot of not only just like the proverbial best practices, but also I'll say innovative practices, or again, what do you do to bring out the best and the most consistent, and what will help keep you stable, help keep you relevant, and help make sure that you are that resource, for whatever your client base or whomever. And those are big things that while, quote, it sounds fundamental, everyone doesn't have the fundamentals.
They don't, and it's okay, because we're all gifted in certain areas, and everybody is not called to do the same thing. And so you go and you find the person, you find the missing link that's in your business or even in your life. You find the person that is the strength to your weakness. And if you don't know the fundamental things of business, it's okay. You have the smaller business owner, I can't bake the cake. They don't want the cake from me, Andrew, I promise you. They don't. But I can tell them how many cakes they need to bake in a day to meet their financial goals, or what they need to have in place to meet the goals of what they need, financially. That's what my gifting is. I'll let them flow in the cake baking, and I'll flow in my gift of helping you grow your business.
Wow, that's a great analogy. So, okay, caking. But that's a great analogy. But let's do this as we get ready to wind down this segment. We are going to have time at the end to go ahead and do our group recap. Okay. Please let our viewers know the best ways they can connect and engage with you.
So I am on all social media platforms. The best way would be to go to my website, that is TJ Everhart, that's EV as in Victor, ERHART.com. If you'll go into my homepage, scroll down to the bottom, you'll see all of my social media buttons. Just click on every last one of them. Do that.
Sounds good. Well, we have had, like I said, we have great people doing great things, and this is no exception. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure and a privilege.
That
yes,
AKA
ma'am.
And that A5A love.
You know what? I'm just happy to be here, darn it. That's all I'm going to say. I'm happy to be here.
We love them all, though. We love them all.
I'm happy to be here.
We love the D9 family all together, and those that aren't.
And when we come back after this quick commercial break, yes, ladies and gentlemen, be another member of the D9 family. We're going to talk about that. But hey, that's part of that. That's part of what we do. We do other stuff, but that's part of what we do. Yeah. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have one of our guests who has been on before. And I tell you what, when you're talking about bringing the heat and bringing that, good Lord, that's all I got to say. So let's take our quick commercial break, and we're going to be back with celebrity Fiyah host Tyressa Ty.
Hey there, everyone. This is author Andrew Snorton, the host of The Conversation Corner, airing every second and fourth Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch me on the Status Network through their website, statusnetwork.net, the LyveTV channel, the Status Network smartphone app, the social media platforms for both the Status Network and LyveTV, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Facebook Live for author Andrew Snorton, and Instagram at author A. Snorton. You're seeing a few of the snapshots of some of the great people that have made our first year great, and we're looking forward to even a greater year next year. Thank you for your support, and remember, let's have a conversation.
I must give a shout out to The Conversation Corner with author Andrew Snorton on the Status Network via LyveTV. If you haven't checked him out, you need to do so.
on the anniversary edition of the Conversation Corner with your author, Andrew Snorton, and the host. And this young lady right here, what can I say? She has been a guest previously, and she took time. She told me she took time out for me in order to be out here.
Yes.
And, on the Greek letter tangent, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have had members of our Greek letter organizations on the show. The only Greek letter organizations that have not represented have been Omega Psi Phi, Iota Phi Theta, and Zeta Phi Beta. So, y'all, what you waiting on? What you waiting for? We're going to try to go ahead and get this up and running and whatnot. But we have right here, my goodness, what can we not say about this young lady right here? Let me think. Southern University alum, member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, corporate trainer, community advocate. Wait. Brandon Road Manager for hip-hop icon Doug E. Fresh. How's the Fresh family doing? And published author. It's good to see you, partner.
It's good to see you, my friend.
And everything.
Always glad to
Tyressa
spend time
Ty. Goodness gracious. Oh.
Always great to spend
So
time with
there's so much to talk about. Where do you want to start today?
you tell me what you want to talk about.
Let's talk.
So much going on. So much has happened.
Really?
It's just moving really fast paced right now.
Yes. That is an understatement. Let's talk about the author hat, since you've already got the resources out there. And ladies and gentlemen, one of her books, is proud to say, is one of the books that has helped me out, but also made my alma mater's list this summer for top reads. Wake Forest University had the first book,
Follow the Fire.
Follow the Fire, as a top read. Hint, you might want to pick it up. Yes. So share with us the resources that you've got in place, because it's really an extension of building on the work you did with your first book.
Right. So my first book is called Follow the Fire, and it's a memoir, and it speaks to some of the many storms and trials that I've been through and overcoming them. And going from a place, I always say, going from a valley to somewhat a mountaintop, if you will. But just helping just ordinary people with extraordinary dreams reach their goal. Because you see so many people, on TV, and you see them doing different things to get to different places. And for me, I want to be that person that is an advocate for God, to say that when I got to where I went, that I'm not saying I would be perfect, but that I chose the route to trust Him and use my faith to make me fire and thrust me to the place that He has me on my journey. So I like for ordinary people to see that, it's okay to do different things and to get to your goal and dreams. But there is also a faith path that you can take that will allow you to be ethical and keep your morals and those things that your parents taught you. And you can still make it.
Yes.
Even when you're from a rural place, And being from Louisiana, everybody loves Louisiana. It's gumbo season, so everybody's requesting gumbo. Mm-hmm. But, we all have these buckets of small cities and little places throughout any state. And a lot of times when you feel that if you're not in that main hub, that you're forgotten, that you can't reach your goal, that you can't get to where you need to be. And I want to be that person that can witness and encourage others that no matter where you're from, there is no limit on where you can go. And I've been everywhere.
Have you been? Yeah, we're just going to say you've been a few spaces and places. Definitely. So share now this, so the Journey Journal.
So this was the original journal. This is the original, the Journey. I call it the Journey Journal, and this is the concept that God gave me, because I had the book and you have exercises in the book. So when I did the ebook, people were saying that I need something to write down, the start, stop, continue of the things and goals that I need to do. So I was like, okay, create a journal. And I'm saying, okay, here you go again. Because, I always say that me suffering from dyslexia and ADHD, I never thought I would even barely graduate. And here I am writing books and stuff. I'm trying not to curse and be good on you.
That's all right. I mean, we're grown.
Yeah, always
and things.
and
yes.
things. Look, so
So the host is coming out,
Yes.
the entertainment side. So, but yeah, so this book is it's definitely an add-on to my ebook, and it's very simple, no stickers and all the extra, and I love those things, but I think, there are times when you got to be really serious and you just got to focus, and this is a tool to help you write down the vision. The Bible say write the vision, and although we love to text and type and IG and Facebook, the Bible say write the vision and make it plain. So this is a very plain, simplistic way to write your vision and to hold yourself accountable, because there are tools in here, that very simple tools to help you hold yourself accountable, to make sure that all of those goals and dreams that you are destined to reach on your journey, that you have them written and you can watch those things happen. And I'm a true witness, So this is really quickly. So I had guys telling me that this looked girlish. So the guys wanted the guys wanted something a little more masculine. So then I decided to do his version for him, Follow the Fire for him, and a version for the ladies who just wanted something additional to write in they already have the book, and it says Follow the Fire for her. And I do have some all the Divine 9 Greek.
She sure
all
does.
All of the Divine 9. Yes, I have journals with different symbols and Greek letters on it as well that's available.
And I'm glad that you're sharing all this, because, again, you're helping people just kind of dial it back a notch, reboot, revisit, really strategize, and really part of it is really tapping into potential that they've got. Some of those things that they, quote, wanted to do but didn't quite know how. Right. It's the proverbial, it's like it's a leap of faith, but with a sidewalk underneath you, basically, right. Instead of taking a leap and you don't know where you're going to land, basically.
Right.
So you've got that going on as an author, community advocate. I know the holidays are around the corner.
Yes.
So share with our viewers, this is something that I've been fortunate to help out with the last couple of years, but Divas and Dolls. So I know it's getting ready to really get, amped up, but walk through with our viewers a little bit about Divas and Dolls, especially with the holidays right around the corner.
So, I'm always super excited to talk about Divas and Dolls. That's a project that I've worked on, a vision God gave me several years ago, but I decided to be obedient 5 years ago. And last year we celebrated the 5th year, and it was amazing. And, of course, you've been there from the beginning. And we were able to do a lot of amazing things. We had a partnership with Tamika Tiny. And it was global, and it was amazing. But the whole concept is bringing together women entrepreneurs to be an example for young ladies, and to make sure that every little girl around the world has a doll for Christmas. And it's just something about a doll, and it's a symbol for little girls to just to remind them of being a lady, playing with a little doll. As a woman, we can remember that's something that we always wanted, a doll. And a lot of times when you have families that are financially struggling, and they're at different events, and kids have to get whatever they can get. And we just want to make sure that every little girl has a doll for Christmas. And in that process, we're just not giving out dolls, we're giving out hope. We're giving out testimonies, we're hugging, we're loving, we're doing all different types of things to let these little girls know that this is the situation you are in right now. But baby girl, you can grow up and be anything that you want to be.
And that is huge that you're saying that, because one of the things about that is what self-image.
Yes.
And, we forget, we internalize a lot of those images, good, bad, and indifferent.
Absolutely.
So for what you're doing in regards to provide, it's seed planting, and you're helping, like you said, let people know that it is doable.
Yes,
it is
absolutely.
possible. It can be done.
Yes, and it can be done with your clothes on. There's nothing wrong with anybody that take their clothes off. Don't get me wrong. But it can be done the right way. God can still, I tell people all the time that, you can't, compare and compete, and you can't look at what other people are doing or the methods that they took, because you don't know the price that they have to pay in the end result to that. So we have to, as young young women in the industry, women that are entrepreneurs, and, like the young lady said before, deciding when to quit a job, keep a job, just being an example to to the young women and the teens and the babies out there. We have to be an example to let them know that you can reach your dreams. You have to work hard, yes you do, but it can happen the right way.
And that's huge that you're saying that. And I think looking at your entertainment journey, especially the last couple of years, hip-hop icon Doug E. Fresh, the world's greatest entertainer.
Who knew that I would travel that Who knew that I would travel that path? It's so crazy, but it's crazy, it's amazing, and it's definitely a testimony, because prior to working for Doug E. Fresh, I was practically living in my car because I had lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, just I tell people that as crazy as I act sometimes, and I'm still, God is still working on me.
Really?
I try to use the words in the Bible, the cuss words in the Bible,
really,
just to stay in line. You know what I'm saying?
Like mule.
Like mule. and I love my wine, but he did that for me. The wine he did for me.
Well, the whole water in the wine, so you got a little bit of wiggle room on that one.
So I try to stay as close as I can to the biblical principles.
Hey, we all try. That's where it all starts.
Right. But losing everything, and being in a place, it's a very humbling place. I will tell you that. And you find out who really, really cares about you.
Mm-hmm.
You find out who's really down for you when you have nothing to offer anyone. That's when you're able to really, you see a lot, and it tests you as well as an individual.
Yeah.
Your patience, your humility, all the spirits, the fruits of the spirit are being tested a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's
so it's amazing. I working for him, you've had a chance to experience it one-on-one, hands-on, kind of real close and personal. It's an experience.
It is, but it's an experience that is part of your continued growth.
Mm-hmm.
It's helping with your reach, and when people really sit back and see the lenses through which and the lanes through which you travel, I'm looking like, I don't know. I know how you do it because of divine intervention, but outside of that, I don't know how you do it.
Sometimes I was just telling a friend earlier today, one of my friend guys I used to work with at Cox Communications, that I say sometimes I literally wake up and I just look around to see where I'm at. I don't have a clue where I'm like, and my phone is so funny because the time zone it always has 2 time zones on it. Always.
Well, the time zone, and I'm aware of that other backstory. We're not going to say it here.
So
Yeah.
It always has 2 time zones. But I thank God for the opportunity, much like the other sisters that were here. I came from corporate America, and, people would say to me all the time when I started transitioning in, when I wrote my book, that was a really crazy time for me. So I kind of got some practice in, right? Because I was the corporate trainer, and I was traveling there. And then at one point I had a coffee shop. And then I was hosting, and I was doing these big engagements, and I was literally working all the time. And I remember one of my sisters in the industry, Paula Hutchinson. She asked me at one of her workshops that I was on a panel. She said, "I want to know, how do you do it, and when you plan on quitting your job?" And I said that, I'm not gonna plan to quit my job. I always plan to work, and I just, my steps are ordered. So I pray that God will, open doors and close them as well. And then when it's his time in my season, I won't have to figure that out. And that's what we have to learn sometimes, that some things are not for us as humans to figure out. When we pray and we allow God to let his will be done, because he'll let anything happen we want. I mean, we can go quit tomorrow, but is it in the right time? You know what I'm saying? So I said, when God is ready, and must have been 12 months later, he took everything from me. Every single thing in a flood and this was not Hurricane Katrina, because everybody always think I went through Hurricane Katrina and then another flood.
That was a couple of years ago.
Single parent, and lost it all. But sometimes you have to lose to win. And that's what happened to me. I went through that period of losing and just there was a point when I knew that that I had to make a choice to live because it was so hard for me, and it was hurtful because there were people that I thought would step up for me and they didn't. But that's the time I got closer to God because I had nobody else. I had a few people that I knew that was there for me, and I cherish them forever, and they can get anything out of me, anything. I say it all the time, there's nothing they can't get from me, and it's a handful of them. And and from that point, it's just like I had to make a choice because you're tested. You are definitely tested when you're in a low place, in a valley. And so I have so much compassion for people. When I see people and I pass their cars and I see a whole bunch of junk in their cars, I used to be like, why don't they clean out their cars? What is going on with their cars? But that was me. That was me. That was me with everything I owned. And remember I told you the conversation when I started working for Doug, and our conversation,
Yes.
Our conversation anniversary is coming up because remember it was a Magic City Classic. I was hosting, and I told him to give me a job, and I told him that. He said, are you going to be ready? I said, everything I own is in my car. But that was what got his attention, was that. So I just have a different love, compassion for people that I've never had before in life because I've been that person. Yep.
Like we said before, it's the proverbial people see you where you are, but they don't know what you have been led through in order to get there.
No clue.
And that is really, when I think about everybody that's been on here, everybody that's been on here, this is your second time.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that's been on here, that's also part of what makes what we're doing here important.
Right.
It's like you see us where we are and we're doing this and that and that, but wait a minute, before you get so caught up in it, let me, like Grandmom used to say, let me sit down, let me tell you a little something.
Yeah.
And I think it's good so that way viewers who are out there that might be going through something, whatever that is, because all of us are dealing with something on some level, it's again letting people know that it is possible and there can be better on the horizon. And the whole piece of it, with the race isn't one, I'm paraphrasing, to the swift, but to the strong, basically. So,
and that's important to me. When people ask me about, I spoke for Essence at an event, and I told people, I love to tell people. I know people, people love to ask me things about, Dougie Fresh, and I love to share, the experience and the testimony as well. But I always tell them I am Tyressa Ty, and I want you to know who I am, and I want to be an example, and I want to motivate you and encourage you to tell you you can get to a Dougie Fresh too as well. And everybody else, and a Tyler Perry, and all these different people that God allowed me to get to, But you have to be good with you, who you are. You got to know who you are, and you have to. People always use the word polish because they used to tell me that in corporate America because I have a little rough side. I know you can't imagine that, huh? But people like to use they like to use the word polish, but I just say, you have to you have to perfect what you do. Perfect what it is. And young lady said earlier, whatever it is that you do, if you're baking cakes, you perfect that, and you keep your faith fire, and God will open doors for your cakes to go global. But you have to heal, and we talk about this, and I want to go into relationships. Because that's a whole other topic. You gotta be whole. You got to be whole, right? You gotta be whole.
And that's coming up in a couple months.
Look, exactly. You have to be whole and in a good place to pursue your goals. You don't have to have a whole bunch of money, and that's what people miss it. You gotta be mentally prepared, because when you dive up into this thing called entrepreneurship, that is a whole nother monster. When you're chasing the bag, when you're trying to get the clients, and that's where I'm at. Like, you have to be good with yourself and in a very spiritual place, wherever that may be, because it's going to take a lot of endurance. It's not going to be easy to be able to, when you see the different things that, people have accomplished, it's a story, and there is definitely always a testimony behind it. So I always like to tell that portion of it, and I just tell all the glory to it.
Well, just like everybody else, y'all been telling it, everybody from what I'm sitting in right now to Ms. Everhart to Ms. Taylor. I'm just really happy to be here.
You were blessed tonight.
I've been blessed. I'm being blessed tonight.
Amazing sisters is definitely.
Hey,
they've definitely blessed me as well.
And that's part of what we want to do, and especially when it comes to faith, and this is where not only can you just come out and say it, but you can say it and allude to it, and people know you have to have some type of groundedness, some type of clarity, some type of vision, growth, and direction. And it's next steps to your next steps.
Right.
And just like other people have been put in place to help you grow, it is your charge to do the same thing.
I totally agree.
It is your charge to do the same thing.
Don't hold it back. And I think in entertainment for women, that's the greatest challenge, because it's not a lot of women in entertainment, especially in my role. And so, a lot of times people want to hold the information. They don't want to share. They want to be the only one in that role, in that position. They don't want to bring other people under them. And so for me, I was just saying this on my live, when I worked in corporate America and I was a manager, it wasn't good enough to just have my assistants or my leads working under me. I always tried to coach them to be me or greater. And when you're confident in yourself, you don't have a problem with hiring great people. I want the baddest and the best working for me. I want to be connected to people that are I would say an outcast, people that may be rejected by others, but they have a gift inside of them. I like pulling those people that people overlook and bringing them on board, because those are the people that are going to be passionate, loyal, and they are going to give you the very best, because they never even imagined that somebody would give them the opportunity. So I'm always sharing nuggets. Like anything I can do to help people get to the next level, that's what I do, because I know that it's that favor. It's that favor that opens doors for me. I got to plant a seed to get a harvest. There's no way possible to get a harvest.
Wait, say that one more time. What you have to say that one more time.
You got to plant a seed to get a harvest. There's no other way. If you can find a way. Men have not figured out a way. That's how it has to happen. And I would say that, look, men they're trying to but everybody dying from all the food they're trying to. See, when you do it the wrong way, it doesn't work. It's not healthy for you. Trying to recreate something from a natural process. The natural process is to plant a seed. And guess what? It don't grow overnight. And that's what people have to understand when they see, the different things that's happening in my life, is that I'm out there watering that thing. I'm out there pulling weeds, and weeds is the haters, okay? You got to pull some of them bad people you thought was your friends, people you thought that was rolling in your corner. You got to pull that thing up, get all that bad stuff out so it can grow. And then you wake up one day, and people, I was just talking to somebody else, and I'm always trying to encourage people, it seems suddenly, you're doing all this work, and one day you wake up and suddenly you're in this place that you've always wanted to be, you always prayed to be. It wasn't suddenly, but it's like a flower, it's like a plant. All that work you do, start off as a little seed. All that work you do, you're waiting, and one day you wake up and there's the plant full of flowers. And you're like, what? That's how life is. That's how it happens. It blooms. It's going to bloom. If you put some love and care to it, and then let God shine his light on it, it's going to bloom, and you're going to be your very best.
Well, I'll tell you what. We've learned a lot today. We've covered a lot, and we've learned a lot. And thanks to Jack working in the booth, who's putting in work and squeezing in a little extra time. We gotta give you a shout. So here's what we're finna to do at this point in time.
Yes.
Since it is about that time, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's use this as our wind down time.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and let our viewers know the best ways to stay connected with you. Then I'm going to say a few words, and then we're going to go ahead and politely excuse ourselves, if that'll be all right with all hearts and minds assembled in here today.
All right. So the best way to contact me is on social media. I do have a website. It's under construction. I just had a meeting about that yesterday.
Right.
But it's under construction. So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook are my two primary sources, I would say. And it's Fiyah, Fiyah, Tyressa Ty, Tyressa Ty. Make sure you follow. Make sure you interact. Make sure you tag. Make sure you DM me. I am on there a lot, and I love new friends, okay? I love new people. I love all of my
current people, but I love. Did you see my picture with Beyonce?
Yes,
I like
ma'am.
to pass out. You know, I'm really calm and cool when I'm
Yeah,
out there in the field. But that was a
Oh yeah, I seen
that was a favor. That was a blessing.
Well,
from
if you
God.
didn't
He gave me a
notice the
little
scrolling
favor.
display, we have the one with you and Mr. Kaepernick up there as well, and Oprah. So
Yeah.
I don't say a lot,
You're
but
always challenging me, so I don't have anything left now. I can try to find maybe President Obama and give me a picture in.
okay. But here's what we're going to go ahead and do as it's about this time. First off, like I said, this is celebrating 1 year. We're able to go a little bit extra time. Thank you once again, Jack, for all your hard work
Thank
behind
you.
the booth. I know he's finna go ahead and get some rest. So here's what we're going to go ahead and do as we go ahead and close this out. Number one, this is what we've done for year one, and we're going to continue to build on it for year two. Second thing, make sure to support all these guests doing some great work across the board. Our next live airing is going to be November 13th, second Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we want to thank you. We're going to go ahead and wind down and call it a night. But thank you so much for your support. Take care. Continue blessings to everybody. And until next time, like I said, let's have a conversation. And we are out. We'll see you later.
Thank you.